YouTube, it's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So some more footage has leaked of undefeated two-time WBC super middleweight world champion Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer David Benavidez, who is now 26 wins, no losses, no draw, 23 wins by way of knockout. He is 25 years of age, 6'1", with a 75-inch arm reach. He just recently dominated and defeated David Lemieux, stopping him in the third round of their fight. But now there's more footage of David Benavidez shoving and pushing undefeated two-time WBC, reigning middleweight world champion, two-division world champion, should I say, and the reigning WBC middleweight world champion, Jermall Only Charlo. Okay, Jermall Charlo is 32 wins, no losses, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout, 6 feet tall with a 74-inch arm reach, 31 years of age. Well, 32 years of age now. Okay, so obviously they was at the fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Yordenis Ugas, and things got testy, right? And Jermall Charlo was asked about him going back and forth with David Benavidez's father, Jose Benavidez Sr., and they were exchanging heated words. And then, did David Benavidez shove you? And Jermall Charlo, he said, no, that didn't happen, and I didn't go behind no security or nothing of the sort. Well, now we have more footage that actually shows David Benavidez actually going up and shoving Jermall Charlo, and Jermall Charlo retreating and going back behind his security. Okay, you can clearly see it. So if you look right there, you can see, okay, let me show you again, right? You're gonna look right here, right? And you see him come push him, and then you see Jermall Charlo retreat behind his security, right? He realized when he turned, David Benavidez pushes him, and he turns and he realizes David Benavidez, and he starts to make his way immediately to behind the security, in which he starts talking and trading words with David Benavidez from there. But in an interview, Jermall Charlo, he stated, I never went behind no security. He didn't shove me. That didn't happen. But then we have footage of Jermall Charlo shoving a reporter from Australia that asked him a question about undefeated junior middleweight title contender Tim Tszyu, Australian superstar boxer, competing against his brother Jermall Charlo for undisputed. Tim Tszyu, he took step aside money to allow Jermall Charlo to have the highly anticipated undisputed rematch with Brian Castano. Tim Tszyu is the mandatory challenger, okay? So Tim Tszyu, he took step aside money to allow that to happen, and afterwards a reporter from Australia asked the question about Tim Tszyu fighting Jermall Charlo, and they went off on the reporter. But then Jermall Charlo, he actually goes and pushes the reporter, right? So clearly you can see right here, right? I'll show you again. You can clearly see David Benavidez right there. He pushes Jermall Charlo, right? And Jermall Charlo runs behind the security or retreats behind the security, right? You clearly see in the footage. Immediately, Jermall Charlo, he turns, he looks at David Benavidez, he realizes David Benavidez, and then he starts to make his way behind the security. And once he gets behind the security, he starts to jaw back and forth with David Benavidez. So you can see right there, right? David Benavidez walks up, he shoves him right there. There goes Jermall Charlo going behind the security, right? So you could clearly see this, right? He retreats behind the security immediately once he notices it was David Benavidez that shoved him. David Benavidez is calling out for a fight with Jermall Charlo. And Jermall Charlo, he states that, now he's stating that he never chooses his opponents, and he's not going to begin to choose his opponents when it comes to fighting David Benavidez. And then he stated that he'll fight David Benavidez in 2023. we're still in, you didn't have, he's going to fight June 18th, Juneteenth weekend against Macy Selecki. But then he's saying he's going to fight then he's going to fight David Benavidez in 2023. David Benavidez just fought this past weekend, okay? May 21st. So you're going to fight a month after him. So you guys are both with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman. You guys both say it similar with Tom Brown, TGB. So it should be easy to make, right? This shouldn't be hard to make. And he's saying that 2023, you should be looking to fight him at the end of the year. Well, then he goes on to say that he's willing to go back down to 154. Back down to 154. He says, if they want me to go back down to 154, I'll go back down to 154. All I'm asking is for them to put them in front of me, and then I get them out of there. Jermall Charlo is 32 years of age. He has 32 fights in his career. He's fought 2 world champions that were world champions by the time he fought them. And 3 was when he beat Julian J. Rock Williams, who challenged him for his title. Julian J. Rock Williams didn't become champion until years after Jermall Charlo knocked him out. So for him to say that he's going to possibly go back down to 154, you left 154 because you said you struggled to make weight at 154. That's the reason why you went to 160. And then he says that he could easily make 168. And then somebody asked him, what about 75? He said, I could do that too. So why would you go back south to fight at 154? You ain't fight 154 in years. So why would you attempt to go back to 154? And why would it be an option for your team or anybody to offer you a fight at 154? His last fight at 154 was Julian J. Rock Williams. That was December of 2016. We are in May of 2022. You're going to fight in June of 2022. So you're going to go back down to 54. You ain't fight at 54 in 6 years. And the reason you ain't fight at 54 was because you stated that it was too difficult to make the weight. Now you're going to go back to 154. For what? To accomplish what at 154? This is it just doesn't add up, okay? And after Macy Selecki, Jermall Charlo, #1 priority should be to go to 168. Period. His #1 priority at this stage in his career should be, let me go up to 168. Andrade is there now. Canelo is there. Triple G is going there. And more importantly, David Benavidez and David Morrell are there. There's nobody at 160 for him to fight. Murata just lost to Triple G. Triple G is leaving. He's the unified champion. Jaime Munguia is what Steven Espinosa, president of Showtime Sports, is saying that, well, maybe we'll go look at Jaime Munguia. We don't know what Jaime Munguia is doing. Jaime Munguia should have took the fight. Jaime Munguia still doesn't have a fight. It was being reported that Jermall Charlo was going to possibly fight against Jaime Munguia June 18th. Okay? June 18th, he was going to fight against Jaime Munguia. But Jaime Munguia fight fell out. It fell through. And so now, the next best option should be to move up to 68. Now, if he can fight Jaime Munguia, now, remember, Jermall Charlo, he stated that he had all plans to move up to 68 to allow his brother, who just became undisputed, to move up to 60. And then we know Errol Spence, who is like a brother to him, is moving up after his fight, upcoming massive, highly anticipated undisputed showdown with Terrence Crawford. He plans to move to 54. So they're trying to clear way for each other so they don't overlap each other. So after you fight Macy Selecki, Okay, these are Jermall Charlo's. Like I said, he fought 3 world champions his entire career. 2 by the time he fought them was world champions. That was Cornelius K9 Bundridge, okay? That was September 2015, and Austin Trout in May of 2016. Then after Austin Trout, he fought J-Rock Williams, okay? In December of 2016. That was his last fight at 154. At the time, J-Rock, that was a challenger, okay? He was 22 wins, no losses, 1 draw. Okay, J-Rock was not a champion by the time he fought Jermall Charlo. Okay, so J-Rock didn't become a world champion until he beat Hurd in 2019, 3 years later. 3 years is when J-Rock became a champion. Okay, but Jermall Charlo's last few opponents since the J-Rock fight, he fought Sebastian Hyland, okay, who was 29-4-2. Then he fought Hugo Centeno Jr., okay? Then he fought Matt Karabov. Then he fought Brandon Adams, Dennis Hogan, and the biggest fight to me to date is the Sergey Derevyanchenko fight, okay? Then Juan Macy Monteo, and now Macy Selecki. So, and you're 32. Time is not on your side. It's time for him to go up now and compete against the absolute best of the best, period. Not say that he'll fight him, David Benavidez, in 2023. What about the rest of 2022? You fight June 18th. What about the rest of 2022? Okay, maybe you looking to secure, we don't know. We know that Demetrius Andrade has vacated his WBO title at 160. So maybe Jaime Munguia's next fight is going to be for the vacant WBO title, and then he can fight Jaime Munguia for a unification bout at the end of the year. That would be the next best possible option for him. But Jaime Munguia still don't have a fight. Jaime Munguia, 39 wins, no losses, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout, 25 years of age, 6 feet tall with a 72-inch arm reach, okay? He still don't have a fight. Now, we got to see what Jaime Munguia does, right? It looks like Jaime Munguia is going to face Jimmy Kelly in a super middleweight fight next month. So he's looking to go to 168. So it look like Jaime Munguia could be moving to 168. So we got to see how this unfolds. But the unbeaten former WBO junior middleweight title holder will enter his 6th fight above 154 limit, which will come versus former title challenger Jimmy Kelly. The scheduled 12-round super middleweight bout confirmed by Golden Boy Promotion Wednesday will take place June 11th from Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Munguia appeared at the venue in recent 12 will. So he's moving up to super middleweight now. So Jaime Munguia is now moving up to super middleweight. So he's not even competing at 160 no more. So you can't even wait for Jaime Munguia now. Wow. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.